Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Snap Take. I am FaThor Neman, filling in for Glazer, who is on vacation right now, and I am very excited. First things first, this was the thumbnail I made for this video. Please, in the comments, say whether this thumbnail or the one that they used is better. If you're interested in playing in the Snap Judgments League, go to Patreon, sign up, become a patron, $1 or higher. That's pretty good. And then join the Discord. From there, you can join the actual tournament. You're going to have one game per week for 4 weeks. Then after that, each grouping will have one winner. As the number of players starts to shrink and the pods face off against each other, then the prizes will grow. I don't know what the prizes are. I'm not involved in that kind of conversation. But tell Glazer you want millions of dollars. It's probably a good thing to get. Pretty handy. So go sign up on Patreon for $1, join Discord, and then just sign up for the tournament and play and have fun. Why should you subscribe? Glazer works really, really hard to find decks before they become meta. He's creative. He has really good connections. He knows his stuff about Marvel Snap. Just subscribe. Do it. Please. And thank you. What are we doing today? Well, first of all, we're going to talk about my infinite deck. Who am I? I'm FaThor Neman, dang it. If you would like to support me and what I do, I'm on YouTube. Just type in FaThor Neman. It's difficult to type in, but you could get there. I'm also on Twitch and Twitter/X. Come hang out. I'm fun sometimes. People describe me as chill, and they like my vibe. I'm good with that. That deck is a Sandman deck, and I'm very excited to talk about it. I'm going to talk about Corvus Glaive a little bit. Then we're going to talk about Dara's Corvus Sandman deck. So 2 Sandman decks today. Life is pretty good. And then we're going to talk about a Demian Thanos Corvus deck as well. And then we're going to talk about weekend mission decks. And then we're going to close things out. That's about it. There's a lot to get through. Let's go. Our first deck today is Standy Sandy. And this is a deck that I kind of worked with over the course of a few months and made work. It's an amalgam, Theseus's ship or whatever. It's an amalgam of a bunch of different Sandman ideas, but this just works out really well for me. You got Sunspot, Nebula, Jeff, Booyah, Scarlet Witch, Electro, and Wave. You got some good ramp and a little bit of location control. Ms. Marvel is basically just a little Doom. Sandman, well, you need him in a Sandman deck. Eliath, he's helpful. Doom, Odin, Magneto. Magneto is one of my favorite 6-drops right now. Super duper helpful. Let's talk about replacements. For replacements, you really need Nebula, Electro, Wave, and Sandman. And that's basically all that you need to run a good Sandman deck. You need ramp, you need Sandman, you need a 1-drop that can scale a bit. Eliath could be leader, but Eliath is really good final turn if you know where they're going to play something. Jeff can just be any good 2-drop, but the fact that he can move around is really good. So if you don't have Jeff, maybe also throw in Nightcrawler. I don't know. I don't like that as much, but whatever. And then Ms. Marvel, I really like it because it's a baby Doom. Well, no, it's basically the same. But it could be Devil Dino, could be Ronin, could be a variety of other 4 or 5 drops, whatever you're feeling. You make the choice. It's up to you. Turn by turn and snapping. I played this deck over 200 times over the last week. I know it pretty well. My win rate was 58%, and my cube rate was 0.46 per game. That's just because I was working on when to snap, when to retreat, all that good stuff. So up front, if you have Electro and you're going into Sandman and then you have a way to spread out power, frickin' snap on turn 3. So if you have Electro, Sandman, and Doom, snap it up. Go for it. Have some fun. Turn 1, Nebula. Turn 2, Jeff is best. Maybe save Scarlet Witch for later if you need to change up a location or get rid of a Limbo. That can be mean. Or Sunspot if you just don't have anything else. On turn 3, you want to play Electro, which is better than Wave. Turn 4, if you played Electro, you want to play Sandman. It's the best line. You should have snapped at this point, by the way. If you played Wave, you want to play Doom or another good 6-drop. Eliath is probably a waste here, but you never know. Could take out their Hulk or something like that. Turn 5, if you played Sandman, you're going to play out Doom. You just want to spread out power. See if you can get priority. Then you could maybe make a final turn Eliath play. Or alternatively, if you played out Doom on the previous turn, play out Sandman now to limit their ability to do stuff final turn. And then turn 6, going to play out Odin on the Doom, or going to play Eliath just to ensure that you win. Works out pretty well. This deck is uber consistent, and it's really fun in my opinion. A lot of people don't like Sandman. I freaking love it. It's helped me hit infinite so many times. But let's talk about Corvus Glaive for a little bit. All right, these are just my thoughts on Corvus Glaive. I enjoy him a lot. He's Series 5. He's kind of expensive. On reveal, discard 2 cards from your hand to get +1 max energy. So he kind of could take the place of Electro. He doesn't stifle, your ability to play cards, but he does get rid of 2 cards from your hand. Is the trade-off good? It's okay. It's random, so you can't aim him anywhere. It works out okay if you have Hela in your deck. We're going to talk about one of those decks in a minute. The RNG of him makes him kind of fun and exciting to play. The playlines change up pretty consistently because you hope that you have Hela, but if you don't, you have to figure out some way of saving your game. Should you buy him? I don't know. Do you like Chaos? If you like Chaos, go for it. If you don't, if you like consistency, maybe wait and see if some other good decks come out. Let's talk about one, though. It was a little bit hard to figure out who made this deck. I saw Dara playing it, and I really, really liked it. I know Regis has a deck out that I'll briefly mention in a little bit that's pretty similar to this one. This deck is straight up ramp, Sandman, discard nonsense. You've got Electro, Corvus, and Wave to get the ramp going. You have Sandman to stifle your opponent. You have Ronin because their hand is going to be a little bit stopped up. He could be pretty big. Vision, he's just versatile. Blob, Doom, Odin, Magneto, just good Sandman cards. Giganto is just, he's giant. That's pretty good. And then Hela is to save any of the cards that you discard. I don't have stats on it. I wish I did, but I'm pretty sure that Corvus is magnetically attracted to Hela. So I usually lose Hela. You can still win pretty easily. Replacements. The deck's core, in my opinion, is Corvus, Electro, Wave, Sandman, and then Hela. From there, you could put in kind of whatever big cards you want to. The 6 drops can be whatever, but Doom and Odin kind of complete the Sandman archetype a little bit. Ronin can be Jubilee or a good 1-drop because you don't have any of those, and getting some sort of power out early is okay. I found that Sunspot can get pretty big with this deck. It's pretty sweet. Or just put in something that makes you happy, Have some fun with this deck. Turn by turn and snapping. Well, turns 1 and 2, you can't really do anything unless you get a location that gives you a card. Then just play it. That's pretty cool. Turn 3, Electro, Corvus, or Wave. Again, I think Corvus is probably the ideal one to do. It doesn't stifle your ability to lay cards, but if you have Hela in hand, it might be safer just to go Electro. I don't know. Up to you. Again, how much chaos do you want in your day? Turn 4, if you played Electro or Corvus, play out Sandman. And that's better than Ronin or Vision. But let's say Corvus hits your Sandman. Play out Ronin, play out Vision. If you played out Wave, Doom or another big 6-drop, whatever you're feeling, totally fine. Turn 5, Hela, if you have Corvus out. Don't play Hela if you didn't discard any cards, please. That would be ridiculous. Or another good 5 or 6-drop. And then turn 6. Turn 6 is where things can go bananas. Let's say you played Corvus, and then you played Hela in the same lane as Corvus, and you have Odin. You frickin' play Odin on top of the Corvus and Hela lane. You're going to discard 2 more cards, and you're going to bring them back. It's really annoying. It's pretty cool. I like that a lot. Doesn't happen often, but it's pretty cool when it does. You can also just play Doom or whatever 6 drops you have left, and then just try to win. If you have, on turn 3, you play out Corvus, and it leaves Hela in your hand, and you have like Sandman, snap. Just do it. Have fun. A lot of people are playing this, so you got to be a little careful. Also, if you don't have any ramp cards by turn 3, just retreat. Just get out of the game. Just go. You're not going anywhere. It's not going to happen. Very sorry. Just run away fast. And then our final deck that we're going to talk through for today is the Demian Glaive Thanos deck. It's got all the Thanos stuff. It's got Lockjaw, Chimera, and then of course we have Corvus. Corvus, just because it's a Thanos deck, you can get rid of either big stuff, little stuff, doesn't matter, but you get extra energy and you can make more plays. Shang-Chi, Cull, Vision, pretty standard in Thanos right now. Aero is not. Aero is awesome though. Blob, Hela's in here again because of Corvus. Can bring back some good stuff. Also, if you can hit big stuff, you could get Scar down to 2, maybe. Like you could get Scar out pretty easily. You have Thanos because it's a Thanos deck. Scar, because he's cool. And then Magneto, because he is also very helpful. Helpful. Words are hard, man. Goodness gracious. Replacements, I mean, you got to have Thanos. And if you're trying to do a Corvus deck, you got to have Corvus. Cull could be Devil Dino. I don't know. Kyera could be armor, but Kyera does way more for like the whole board than armor does. Scar could just be another big 6-drop. So Infinite, She-Hulk, etc. Whatever you want to play. She-Hulk's a little bit weird, but I don't know. Could come in clutch. All right, and turn by turn and snapping. Up front, there's a lot of words here because there's a lot of randomness that can happen with Thanos and Lockjaw as well. Turn 1, just a stone. If the gods of Marvel Snap give you a stone, you play a stone. And then on turn 2, if you still have more stones, you play more stones. 2 of them, probably. Turn 3, Lockjaw or Corvus. I think Lockjaw could be cool, but Corvus getting extra energy out already, oh boy. And this is where the branching paths start to get a little bit weird. So turn 4, if you played out Lockjaw, play a stone into Lockjaw and then play Kyera. It's kind of the main thing that you can do, or you could play out more stones. And if you played out Corvus, do Lockjaw plus a stone, or play Cull Obsidian, or whatever else you can play. Just you don't want to play out Shang-Chi. Save it. Turn 5, play a stone into Lockjaw and a 5-drop. Maybe play Blob. Maybe play Hela. It just depends on which path you're on at this point and what's popped out of Lockjaw. I have no idea what your game looks like at this point, but your board's probably a little bit chaotic. Thank you, Corvus. And then turn 6, just win. You're in an RNG nightmare right now, and I have no idea what's going on. But you could play Hela and then a stone into Lockjaw. Or you could play Scar if he's a low cost and then play Shang-Chi. You could play Thanos and a stone into Lockjaw. You could play Aero and a stone. Whatever you've got, just try to win. It's the main goal at this point of the game. So where do you snap here? Heavens. I mean, if you've got Corvus turn 3 or you got Lockjaw, yeah, just risk it. Like, there's so many things that could go really well for you. I think knowing when to snap in Thanos is you just need to know what your opponent's playing. And if you can output more power. So if you hit something lucky with Lockjaw, or your Corvus hits 2 big cards and you have Hela, dude, snap it up. Go for it. It's all RNG. Very sorry. I can't be more clear on this one. And it's weekend mission time. So I have 2 decks that run Corvus. I have 2 decks that run Black Swan, and I have an Abomination perhaps that runs both. But we'll get to it. It'll look pretty familiar. The first one is the Regis Sand Glaive deck. I don't know if that's what he called it, but this is pretty similar to the one that we talked about earlier from Dara. The main difference is you have Blade because your hand can get kind of full, but you have the ramp of just Electro and Corvus, no wave this time. You have Jubilee, Sandman, Ronin, and then it all looks pretty similar, except the Infinite kind of at the top end. That's pretty good stuff. Enjoy that one. I have no idea where this deck came from other than I found it on Untapped. And it's a little bit more of a traditional discard deck. So Meek, pretty cool to see Meek getting a little bit of play. I like that a lot. Blade, Morbius, Wolverine, Swarm, and then you got Corvus. Like it's very standard. It's very nice. I've seen other variations of this that have Mystique and that have Collector, because the Helicarrier is bananas. But if you could get double Morbius and then you go into, I don't know, you got Helicarrier, you hit it early on and then you Modoc it later. Like I played against an 18 power Morbius yesterday. It goes a little bit bananas. From Corvus on, it's just a standard discard deck. So do it. Have fun. Apocalypse. Going to get pretty big probably. On to Black Swan decks. This deck it's bounce. It's a pretty standard bounce deck. So you got Forge, Spider-Ham, Iceman, Nico. You could use whatever 1-drops you're feeling other than like don't do Nebula or Sunspot or anything like that. But I've played against this quite a bit. Beast, Falcon to bring stuff back to your hand, Black Swan to play a bunch of stuff out, Shang-Chi for defense, Zabu so you can play out Werewolf, Enchantress, Shang-Chi, and Cull Obsidian for 3. Whoo! That's pretty good. I think this deck is pretty okay. Again, whatever 1-drops you're feeling, totally fine. Doesn't have to be Nico. Other than that, though, I mean, the deck looks pretty strong. If you don't have Cull, I'd probably just throw in Sarah or something like that so you can play out more cards. Maybe throw Monkey in here. Monkey's pretty good, especially if you're going to play out a bunch of cards. But it looks like turn 6 is kind of set up as the defense turn. So Shang-Chi and Enchantress are going to take you home for a win. This is one that's been going around for a little bit, but it's just the straight up Lockjaw Thanos deck. Jeff, Lockjaw, Chimera, Black Swan, Shang-Chi, Cull Obsidian, Devil, Dino, Vision, Blob, Thanos, Scar, Magneto. You've seen it. You've played against it a bunch of times. Maybe you've played it a bunch of times. It works fine, especially if you can get Black Swan to pop out of Lockjaw. Oh, so good. Lots of things you can do. And then Cull, Scar, they go together so well. Yeah, it's a good deck. You'll complete missions quickly. And then this is the Abomination. Corvus Swan Thanos. I found it on Untapped as well. It's a deck. It exists in a similar vein. You're just adding in Black Swan. Very similar play lines to the above ones, but there's not a lot of decks that utilize Corvus and Black Swan. I don't know why. Maybe they don't go super well together. Same play lines as before. Drop your stones, drop Lockjaw. Hope to get Black Swan out of Lockjaw. Play Corvus, discard some stuff. Hope you have Hela, and then beat the tar out of your opponent. And that's it. That's the whole game plan here. It's fun. It looks exciting. This was really the only deck that had a positive cube rate that I could find today. So give it a shot if you enjoy chaos. Final thoughts. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to Glazer already, please do. He makes amazing content. If you're not supporting him on Patreon, please do that. If you enjoyed me, you can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, all FaThor Neman. I'm there on all the stuffs. But really, I also wanted to say, if you're not subscribed to the channel, Glazer is one of the nicest people that I've met in general in life. He works really hard to support people who are big, but also little like myself. And I appreciate him giving me a chance to be in front of you people today. Thank you so much. Glazer, you're the frickin' man. Hopefully I did well enough that I get invited back someday. We'll see. I don't know. Thank you guys so much. If you made it this far in the video, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. Make good choices. Remember, you're going to have a great day whether you know it or not. And as always, peace.